Recognizes Rohit Dhar, Prime Minister, to give a constructive speech lasting no longer than 7 minutes, with the resolution of this House would milk the cow. You may begin.
All right, I'd like to give a blanket statement of thanks to everyone who's in the debate, and I'd like to give a roadmap of what I'm going through. First off, I'll do first observation, which is resolution analysis, where I'll state the resolution and define what's in the resolution. And my second observation would be statement of contentions and elaboration upon them and link to our value. Now, first off, resolution analysis. We'll restate the resolution as this House would milk the cow. And what we define the House as is use of government. We define wood, which is valued in trichotomy debate. We define milk as increased subsidies, and the cow as private agriculture companies. And that for our value, we define our value as better economy and safe regulations. And for our and now we go to our second observation, which is statement of contentions, elaboration. Now, for our first contention, titled "Capitalism is Good." Okay. I'll answer your question when I say my first contention. All right. And read the tagline is "Capitalism Good." And what we say is that a lot of Americans work for private companies, so that if subsidies are given to these private agriculture companies, that there is a chance that there will be higher paychecks to these employees who have worked with these private agriculture companies. Because with the subsidies given, these companies who have to use a lot of money to manufacture goods and the distribution of it and the cost of shippings and etc. will be costly, so their prices would be expensive. And because of that, paychecks to employees is not really that much. And so with our subsidies, we will allow the employees to have higher paychecks, and that they could use the increased money to have a better quality of life. And that government stance on capitalism will increase, and their function will be much more strengthened. And now we links to our second. I just have a lot to go through. I'll answer the questions if there's enough time. And this links to our second contention, which is subsidies are good. And why we say subsidies are good is that because a lot of the labor forces come to big cities to enhance capitalism, because they work in private companies that are involved in the manufacturing distribution of agricultural goods, which is stated in the first contention. And that without subsidies, without these subsidies, now there's a chance that employees will lose their jobs, and that when they lose their jobs, they don't have money to buy essential things like food, groceries, and provide good health care, good education for these times and children. And that I'll just want to restate my contentions and tie them all back to my value. And our third contention is we define as less famine, and that how there will be less famine if we give subsidies to private agriculture companies is that because private agriculture companies manufacture agricultural goods, as stated. But the thing is, there's a chance that these agricultural goods might not be of good quality. And so what we're doing is that subsidies can be given to increase the quality of these goods, so that way people don't get sick from these food poisoning, and that the goods that are enhanced in quality enhance in price and thus have a higher value within the market. And that with this, I need to finish the contention. And that also, because there's so much money to manufacturing, prices are up. But if we give subsidies, then prices will lower down in manufacturing, and that it will be good. The companies can put it at a low price, which is the greatest way of capitalism, is that the companies compete, and that who has the lowest price and the best quality wins out, and the companies who don't lose out. That is what we're doing. We're enhancing the value of capitalism. And how all these three contentions link to our value of better economies, safe food regulations. First off, our first contention, capitalism is good. And what we're saying is we're increasing and strengthening our position of the capitalist society we're in, which is mainly capitalism. And that we are giving subsidies, we're encouraging companies to thrive and prosper within this environment. And then our second contention, subsidies are good, which is linked to my first contention. I just need to go through this as quick as possible. Thank you. Phew. And that subsidies are good. And what we're saying is that which links to our capitalism. Subsidies, our government is being economically friendly, and for that is good within this environment where news pundits are criticizing the Obama administration of being anti-business and pro-socialism. Where with this we get on the good side of hardworking Americans who work long hours to make basic goods that are essential to Americans, which is food. We need food to eat, food like in restaurants, etc. All of this is beneficial to a better economy. And let me just go into my third petition. Thank you. All right, less famine. That we, like a better economy for safety regulations. And that how links back to that we make sure that the quality of the goods that these private agricultural companies make is healthy. Thus, we as a government are fulfilling our sacred role, which is made by the government, for the government, made by the people. Sorry, hold that. And thus we are ensuring that the safety of the people are guaranteed, and thus better quality of life, and people can get goods at a lower price quality and a good quality, well, thus ensuring a great economic boom. And with that, how much time do you have?
30 seconds.
Okay, and for these reasons, I advise you, Judge, that we as government team win by these contentions. Thank you very much, and